Hey everybody, I'm PJ, and this is my speedrun of Mega Man 6 Complete Works in 2938 RTA. And I think the in-game time is 1804 or something. The Complete Works ports are Japan PlayStation 1 exclusive. They have a load of cool new features. You can play the original game on the Complete Works collection. But what I'm playing is Navi mode, and you can already see and hear the differences probably. The life counter is different, the health bar is a little bit different, it sounds completely different, it's new music. There are two icons at the top and a blinking exclamation mark now. So the exclamation mark, I think you can go in the menu and ask for a hint, and Eddie or Dr. Light will tell you what you can do. But the two parts at the top are one of the crucial differences in Navi mode. So as you play, you can accumulate, I don't know, some kind of points, some kind of currency. Well, it's not a currency because you don't spend it, but you get some kind of points that unlocks parts, and if you go back to the very main menu of the game, you can equip 2 out of a total of 8. And when you equip them, those 2 are equipped for the entire playthrough. You can't swap unless you quit back out. So for a speedrun, you have to pick 2 for the entire run. The 2 that I have are Speedster, which is why I'm moving so fast, and double weapon ammo. That one I chose for a lot of reasons. There's also a hypercharge that makes your buster charge quicker. There's a part that'll let you jump higher. There are 2 that make the charge shot travel faster and make the lemons travel faster. One that makes the lemons stronger, and one where the buster auto charges. So I prefer Speedster because obviously going faster is really good for a speedrun, and then double weapon ammo because the weapons in this game are super good. That ties into one of the other major differences in Navi mode, and that's quick swapping. You can quick swap between your weapons in this instead of having to pause. And crucially, you can also quick swap to the rush adapters. So to the rush jet and the rush power adapter that I just got. And that's really neat. You can also quick swap to beat. Even though I don't collect beat in this run, there's a neat bug that you can take advantage of. I think I use it twice. So yeah, new music, new graphics, or new UI, I guess. Quick swapping, the parts that you can equip. The Complete Works games also have Pocketstation support, which is a Japan exclusive like peripheral that plugs into the memory card slot. This is a good Blizzard stage so far. And you can use the Pocketstation to power up Mega Man and power up the Robot Masters if you want, but mostly it would be used to power up Mega Man. He can get ridiculously strong, he can have up to 80 health and do 8 damage with Charge Shot. Really good boat, too. This is a great stage. The end of this stage, just a real quick digression from the Pocketstation discussion. The bomb skip does exist in this, and it's much easier. You can just hold right, and you get it, like, I'd say 95% of the time. It's much friendlier than the NES bomb skip. So yeah, with the fully decked out Mega Man with the Pocketstation support, you kill bosses in 2 or 3 hits, usually 2. And then obviously all the enemies on the stages get killed by anything. You're just really strong. I opted to not do that because I think it makes the run more boring. So I think this is the more interesting category, or I guess rule set. There was something I wanted to mention there, and I lost it. It's fine. It'll come back later, I'm sure. The last note about category stuff. I'm playing on hard mode. The Complete Works games have difficulty selections. Hard mode just means... Oh, and I changed my life count to 0. That was just something that I did to force myself to only take a deathless run. Because a death would be a game over. But hard mode prevents all... I tried to damage boost and slid past the bullet. That's too bad. Hard mode disables all items, all drops. So any like fixed health spawns and weapon spawns, ammo spawns, extra lives and E-tanks, all of those are gone. And enemies can't drop ammo either, or health. So like any damage I take in the stage is permanent, basically. And it's just a much more interesting dynamic for me, personally. In this screen, I wanted to charge immediately after killing the gorilla, because you can buffer a charge shot release, and it lets you get started on the screen a little bit sooner. But I recovered pretty well. All that changes is that you have to delay a little bit at the start to wait for the Buzzy Beetle to fly by. But pretty good stage. You can already see the power of the like quick swapping with Blizzard Attack. I'll get more into like the cool utility of these weapons. I still need to finish talking about what this game is. So yeah, hard mode, it means that there's no backup. I can't like use an E-tank, I can't collect any extra lives, and also critically for the Wily stages, the ammo that I start that castles with is the ammo that I get until the end of the game. So that's where the double weapon ammo comes in, and that's where the routing really comes into play. So I think this rule set, that's New Game Plus, which allows me to use the parts, hard mode, no Pocketstation. I think that's the most interesting, way to play and present the game. Okay, so we start with Flame Man in this route. In the NES version, there are 3 viable starts: Flame, Wind, and Night. Since we have quick swapping, and since we have a ton of weapon ammo, we definitely want to start with Flame. Flame stage doesn't tremendously benefit from having weapons, but you definitely want weapons for Nightman stage. You'll see why when we get there. And Wind, you could start with. I still really want weapons for Windman stage, and this is our first instance of like quick swapping to Jet. It's really nice. Yeah, even if you start with Wind, Windstorm is not a very good weapon, so we don't really benefit from getting the weapon early, whereas Flame Blast is absolutely devastating. So, starting with Flame just gives us a huge power spike. It allows us to get Jet really early. We get Jet third, so we can use Jet to start skipping ladders and stuff. The main problem, when I initially started routing this, I thought that having quick swap Jet was going to be like a huge deal. But it's not. Oh wait, this screen's super good. This is where like the quick swap weapons are so good in this. I thought quick swapping Jet was gonna be a huge deal, but with the speedster part, you climb ladders faster too. So you actually don't, in most cases, save any time by quick swapping to Jet. Because Jet has like a slow acceleration before it reaches the maximum vertical speed. So often it's faster to just grab the ladder and start climbing. If you can use Jet to cut like a cleaner diagonal to the ladder, it's better to do that. But for just like ascending a ladder, it's not faster. And the other inconvenience is that when you're flying with Jet, you don't get the speed boost at all. So in the NES version, it's already slower to fly than to walk. And that penalty is amplified even further because you don't get any of the speedster benefit while you're flying. So even though like quick swapping Jet is really powerful, I don't want to be using it everywhere. Even like right here, I cancel Jet early just to get a slide off those two tiles. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but it saves my hands. This version also has a turbo, an auto fire button. It's not real fast. I think it's 8 or 10 hertz, which is quite a bit slower than my mash. But you don't really need a fast mash for much of anything in this game. Cancel. Nice. Wasn't holding diagonal long enough and just like fell short of the ladder. I love it. I think I did that one other time in this run. Yeah, you don't need a fast mash, and the turbo just makes things more consistent. I think the most important mash would be against like the gorillas in Plant Man stage, but the auto fire is sufficient to kill them in one jump. In the NES version, it's faster to take the alternate Yamato Man path. That's the top path that uses jet. So in this version with quick swap, it's like even more so the correct decision. So yeah, we take the same path here. I think the only deviation is Centaur Man stage. Centaur stage, we take the top path. Even though we move a little bit slower with jet, it skips a screen transition. So it's a bit faster. Alright, so we've already been seeing the power of some of these lesser used, underappreciated weapons like Blizzard Attack and Plant Barrier. Plant Barrier is actually really strong. So in this game, unless I'm misremembering, normal enemies don't have weapon weaknesses. Like in some of the other ones they do, at least in Mega Man 3 they do. Some enemies will take more damage from certain weapons. In this game, everything takes just flat damage from weapons. And Night Crusher does 3, which is as strong as a charged Buster Shot. But Flame Blast and Plant Barrier both do 4 damage. Here we use Plant Barrier to block a bullet so we don't get anti-aired while climbing. It's a strat that I accidentally found, and is quite nice. I was trying to kill the magic urn before that, but yeah, just blocking the shot's better. And yeah, Blizzard Attack can kill these things, so yeah, here we fire some Blizzard Attacks way in advance to kill those so we can optimize our slide distance. So yeah, Flame Blast and Plant Barrier do a ton of damage. Plant Barrier also has the additional utility of blocking projectiles. We did that in the first screen of Tomahawk Man stage as well. We used Flame Blast to kill the cowboys, and then on the last one we used Plant Barrier to first block a bullet, and then quick swap to Flame Blast. So there's a lot of really neat stuff that you can do with the quick swaps. Blizzard Attack is like... I'm not going to go as far as to say it's my favorite weapon in this version, but like I've definitely gained a lot more respect for it as a weapon. The menu in NES Mega Man 6 is really slow. It's like a 2-second penalty to change weapons. So being able to do it for free really opens up the door for a lot of cool uses. And Blizzard Attack, if you know exactly what's coming up, has some pretty neat setups. So Centaur stage is really cool. This has gone through a lot of revisions, and I know this particular run is not perfect, but I don't remember why. I think this is the one with the really tight jump here. Yup! Yup, it is! Yeah, okay, so I timed that one out. I think I was walking off the ledge for 10 frames before I jumped. Like, I really pushed that. So you do want to delay that as much as you can. That's unfortunate. There's a really cool strat in that room. I don't know that I've ever actually gotten it in a run. But in that underwater section, you do want to delay that, the Donkey Kong Country jump as much as you can, because it gives you a cleaner jump over the turret and under the spikes. So you get a much bigger window the later you jump. But I think I jumped like so late there that I was expecting to die. Here's a cool jet switch to take the top path. That's what I mentioned before. Normally you would take the bottom path because it's, you know, it doesn't save enough time to enter the menu and switch to jet. But if you can quick swap, then the top path is faster here. Right, yeah, in the underwater section, I wasn't expecting to land, so I like didn't have the Night Crush ready to kill the fish. I don't know, it was a lot of small weird mistakes in that stage, but Centaur Man stage is probably the hardest stage in NES, and it's probably a contender for hardest in this one too. I think X3 might be... X3, X4 might be more difficult. I think X3 is harder than X4 in this. This run's really interesting. Like, not this particular run, but this category is interesting. Because it was much more daunting and much more difficult to learn, but ended up being pretty consistent once I had muscle memory for it. I felt a lot more comfortable with this run than with the NES version. So Windman stage has some pretty cool stuff. This is great. Yep, another instance of just like not holding diagonal long enough to grab the ladder. There's a cool bug here. So I use Blizzard Attack and then I switch to Beat, which I don't have. And the consequence of that is that it doesn't cancel your weapon, but it switches you back to Buster. So as you may have seen, when you fire a weapon and then quick swap to something else, the weapon disappears. All traces of it go away. Like that, the Night Crusher went away. If you do the Beat switch, it doesn't. The weapon will stay on screen, and you switch to Buster. You can't fire any lemons until the weapon is gone, but you can charge the Mega Buster. So what I did in that screen was fire the Blizzard Attack, switch to Beat, and then charge the Mega Buster. And the remaining glitched snowflakes killed the Gabuals, the spinny, spiky guys. And then I had a fully charged Mega Buster to shoot the cannon. And it worked out really well in that screen because while there are a lot of other weapons that can kill the floating cannon turret things, most of the weapons in this game don't fire straight. And if they do, they're pretty slow. So yeah, the Mega Buster just happens to be like the perfect tool for the job, so it works out pretty well. I use the Beat Buster glitch again in X4. I think those are the two uses that I get out of it. It's a pretty neat one. Alright, so just like that, it's time for castles. So at this point we can't refill our weapon ammo at all. Like I said, since we're playing on hard mode, there are no ammo drops, and your ammo doesn't refill between stages. If I die, I game over and then my ammo refills, but I wanted a deathless run, so that wasn't an option. So I had to really carefully plan what weapons I would be using in what stages, and make sure that they didn't miss. So this stage is mostly the same as NES, except you move faster. This screen is like super dicey. I don't remember. Okay, I did get a partial strat. I just pressed the wrong quick swap button. I wanted to Centaur Flash there to kill the hoppers, and instead I went to Jet. Oh well, it's not a big deal. This fight is super different, and unfortunately I missed the quick kill in this run. That boss is weak to Plant Barrier and Flame Blast, and it has no iframes. So what I wanted to do was fire 3 Flame Blasts and then damage boosts, and the bottom one takes 3 Flame Blast hits while it's burning on the ground, and then quick swap to Plant Barrier and jump with Turbo, and it kills the top rounder, and then you land on the left one. And the fight ends like instantly. My previous PB, I put a link to it in the description. If you want to see how that fight's supposed to go, you can check my previous PB. That's really the only advantage that PB had over this one, I think. So X2 is a super cool stage. We get to see some really fancy Blizzard trick shots on this screen. Really big fan of this weapon. And then probably my favorite Blizzard attack in this screen to kill all 3 maps. It's just I don't know, it's a really cool dynamic being so useless in the NES version and being so good in this one. Power Piston is one of the big ammo concerns in the NES version because like you just gotta kind of gamble with your shots. You can usually pretty consistently guess when it's gonna hit, but you can never really guarantee it, so you can end up losing a lot of ammo and be in trouble. Because there are 4 more bosses weak to Tomahawk after that. But since I have double ammo, it's not really a big concern here. So X3 is like I don't know, this is one of the really big route challenges. There are a lot of like time sacrifices that I just had to make for consistency. Like the Centaur Flash there is faster in most cases. And then the Centaur Flash here is super, super scary. So, like, if the enemies at the beginning of that screen drop flames and you don't centaur flash to kill them, then you lose time. But if they don't drop flames, then you do lose time with the centaur flash. And also, like, the more you use Jet, the more time you lose, because Jet moves slower with the speedster equipped. But if you don't use Jet, then you end up with, like, some really dicey jumps. That screen actually went pretty decently. That screen's usually a disaster. The switch from Jet to POW. And I think this is the run that had the super good Metonger Z fight. Yeah, this is the one that's gonna make me look, like, way better than I am. That's, like, probably the best fight I've had against him by 5 seconds. So there was a route change after I got this PB. I changed something in Wily 1 to make it much, much, much worse. But doing so saves some Yamato Yamato spear ammo. Really unlucky turret time. More on that in a bit. This is the beat buster glitch. So I use plant barrier so that the plant barrier kills the first turret, and then I switch to beat so I can charge a Mega Buster shot to kill the second one. It's so smooth. I love that strat. I intended to centaur flash sooner to kill that guy. It's another gamble where, like, if you fire his early bullet, you lose time switching to centaur, and if you fire his late bullet, you save time. Alright, the rest of this is pretty standard. There's some weird, like, subpixel stuff. You still have the ledge clipping in this version. Even though you're moving so much faster, there's still the situation where, like, you land halfway into a ledge and the game zips you backwards and kills you. So I have to take that last screen, like, really, really safe and respect the edges, because it tends to happen much more frequently. A really nice Flame Blast kill. I like that strat a lot. That's the NES strat, but it's easier in this because you move quicker. So yeah, in Wily 1, you'll see the way that I fight Mechasaurus. I basically just cross my fingers and hope for the best, and use Turbo to fire 3 Yamato Spears per jump. The faster way to do it is to use a strat that Papat found, like, years ago, that I like to use because I'm terrible at aiming the spears on him. You can damage boost off of him and fight him from his neck. And you can guarantee double Yamato spears. But he does a ton of damage. It's like, it's maybe 6 contact damage, maybe 8. But what it essentially means, when I have no E-tanks because of hard mode, and can't get health drops or anything, if I take any hit like I did in the first screen there, that strat is no longer possible, because I don't have enough health. So I think, like, with the initial damage boost to get up to his neck, if I enter the fight with full health, I can take one hit. One unintended hit. And if I take one unintended hit in the stage, then the run's over, basically. So the advantage of the strat is that it's faster, it looks really cool, and it saves a lot of Yamato Spear. And that allows me to use Spear in X4, the previous stage, and in the next stage, and it speeds things up a little bit. And there's a faster strat through, like, the first 2 screens of this stage that are, I think in total it was 1.7 or so seconds. It wasn't quite 2 seconds faster, but again, like, it's really risky, and if I get hit, then the run's over if I commit to the Mechasaurus neck strat. So, yeah, that's mostly the reason that I'm settling with this run, because I knew that if I wanted to get a new PB and wanted to reach my goal time of, like, 29-1x, I would need to adopt the neck strat and the Yamato Spear strats, but just didn't really want to deal with that frustration. So yeah, I would use Yamato Spear in this screen, and then in the next screen here with the cannons. By my standards, that fight against Mechasaurus was nice swaps. That fight against Mechasaurus was pretty good. I ended with 17 Yamato Spear, which is a good amount. Some more Blizzard Attack here. Blizzard Attack is really, really cool because it kills the Mad Nerds in one hit. Those enemies, normally, no matter what you hit them with, they just, like, it blows away their costume, and then they get mad and they run around, and then you have to hit them again. But for some reason, with Blizzard Attack, it just instantly kills them in one go. It's super cool. So, yeah, I actually had Yamato Spear ammo in this run to do the faster cannon room, but I just didn't swap cleanly in time. One of the other issues is that you can't actually weapon swap while sliding in this game. And that's tough for my muscle memory, because in Mega Man 7, I always did all of my weapon swaps during a slide, just because it's downtime. But in this one, I can't, and that's really tough when you're also moving twice as fast, because you have to cram like 4 R1 presses in a quarter of a second freefall. So yeah, some of the swaps are just not great. But I assume that they had to prevent quick swapping while sliding, because you can't slide while you have Rush Jet or Rush Power equipped. This is a really good Blizzard Man fight. If he doesn't start with a roll, you want to go to the right side of the screen, so that when he does roll, he rolls a shorter distance. But I very rarely get the opportunity to do that, and I even more rarely, execute it well, so yeah, that was great. And like a one jump Flame Man, I think this was a gold refights, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Normally, if I get the X1 quick kill on rounders, then I would only have 7 plant barrier for Tomahawk Man, but since I beefed it, I had 8, so I was able to take that fight a little riskier. One thing that's just like hidden time loss is that I'm pretty careless with taking damage in refights here. I think I miss a Centaur Flash too. So even though like the Tomahawk Man fight, I'm keeping him more or less iframe locked, I still took 2 hits, so I end up losing time when I collect the health, because the health has to fill. Centaur, I think, was a 1 teleport? No, 2. Still, not bad. I don't remember what the first Centaur fight was. That might have been no teleports. That's usually how it goes. If I have a really bad stage, then he bails me out with a good pattern. Yeah, so ammo's completely fine. We use all of our plant barrier. I think we end with 4 Centaur Flash. With this route, 3 Centaur Flash. With this route, we're left with like usually 2 to 5 Yamato Spears. We have 41 Tomahawks for Yamato, which is good. We need 28 for him and all of the Wily machines, so we have a good buffer there. There's a Plant Man. I think I do get the manip here. There's a cool Plant Man manipulation you can do. Yeah. So Plant Man, essentially, after he fires a shield, he calculates how far away Mega Man is from him in pixels, and then decides, okay, I have to walk that many pixels now. But if you're standing exactly on top of him, the calculation, instead of returning a value of 0 pixels, returns 255. So he just walks 255 pixels. He does a few laps of his room. So you can take advantage of that to hit him 6 times optimally with Blizzard Attack, but I'm bad, so I get 5 usually. Alright, Wily Capsule. Unfortunately, this was one of the other things that I revamped with the Mechasaurus route change. Because I was really bad at this fight, and like my timing with the jumps and with my spacing was just off. Like that phase should end on the far left of the screen. So like yeah, then phase 2 is kind of botched because he's in the wrong position. You can 2-cycle Wily Capsule if you get. Really, that setup should have done it. The right center is like the best spawn because you can hit him 4 times. You can hit him 3 times while he's visible, and then you can get like that glitch shot if you just fire blindly off the left side of the screen. That'll hit him. I don't really know why. But anyways, a decent capsule fight for me. I'm super bad at that fight. There are a lot of bosses in this game I'm just horrible at because I don't like practicing them, if I'm being honest. And Capsule is one, Mechasaurus is one, Metongre Z is another. And most of the Robot Masters. So I got one of the Plant Man manipulations in this run. In NES I usually get both. In this one I rarely even get one of the two. So yeah, if I took this category more seriously, I would have to really grind that out and find a better setup for it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this time. It was a fun run to work on. It was a really fun run to route, and it was really fun to practice. But just like the NES version, I never really enjoyed doing attempts because I don't know. The castle stages are more fun in this version than the NES version. But I still don't like any of the bosses, and I still don't like a lot of the stages, a lot of the castle stages. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on this game. I'd say it's unlikely I ever get back to it, but yeah, I think my goal would have been like 29 1x. I think my sum of best was like just under 29. 28, 57 or 58. So I don't know. It's not too bad. There are faster times on the leaderboard. I hesitate ever using the words world record for something as specialized as this. Like once your category has 3 different qualifiers on it, any percent, new game plus, no Pocketstation, hard mode, it's like, that's so specialized that it's just kind of pointless, and it's already an uncommon version. So there are other times on the leaderboard that use Pocketstation that are faster. This is the fastest New Game Plus time that doesn't use Pocketstation. But yeah, the Pocketstation, it's like, if Mega Man is as strong as possible and the Robot Masters aren't, you kill them in 2 or 3 hits. And there are 25 boss fights in this game. So, yeah, you're saving 4 or 5 hits per fight across 25 bosses. And each boss has 1 second of invincibility frames. So, just like napkin math, Pocketstation would save, 100 seconds to 120 seconds, a minute 40 to 2 minutes. And this run is, I think 50 seconds slower than the best Pocketstation run. So, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say how things convert. But, anyways, the run is what it is. I hope you enjoyed watching. This run was, I never mentioned it, but I'm glad I remembered to. This run was done on original hardware. I do have copies of Complete Works. It's played on a Japanese PS2 with fast disk speed. I couldn't tell any difference between fast disk speed and not, but anyways, I used it. And used a DualShock 2 controller, which was the worst part of this whole thing. Trying to do turn cancels and trying to do quick weapon swaps with those shoulder buttons and that horrible D-pad was a nightmare. But I did, for authenticity. So I do have Complete Works 4 and 5, and once upon a time I was thinking about running those as well. Mostly 5. I was curious about like quick swapping charge kick and quick swapping super arrow and stuff like that, but I don't think I'm going to. So If you had your hopes up for some Rockman 4 or Rockman 5 Complete Works runs, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's probably not going to happen. But I am really glad that I worked on this. It was a really fun run and a really different challenge. I think it turned out well too. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna let credits 2 roll out. You can enjoy the new ending theme that's exclusive to this version. And at the very end of that, my in-game time is shown. I'm sure that's very important for a lot of you, even though there's no frame of reference for what that means. You can see it anyways. So, yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time for whatever new speedrun content shows up. All right, take care.